there. I have been waiting for this information for quite a while, and I wanted to run up here and go through some of my WIPs, but as I started grabbing my WIP bags, it occurred to me, if you're new to the yarn and crochet universe, you might not have any idea what I'm talking about. So I thought this would be the perfect time to go over some crochet slang. This is a super duper casual day for me, and I'm enjoying it so much. I don't have to be anywhere until like 5 o'clock tonight, so this is like a sweatpants type of day, and I am loving it. So I wanted to talk to you about some crochet slang because in the beginning of my whole crochet journey, I was the type who wanted to just devour all the information. I joined some Facebook groups and I started reading posts, and I had no idea what they were talking about. So, like the first example I will give, and of course I'll explain what it is um, so they were posting these pictures and they were saying that whatever item, like the sweater, this blanket, um, whatever, was Hoth, Hoth. So I am, I grew up watching Star Wars, and so like I thought that Hoth was a made-up planet by George Lucas, but it turns out it means hot off the hook. Probably wouldn't have guessed that. I had to ask a friend who crochets because I was like too embarrassed to ask on the Facebook post what that meant. So, hot off the hook meaning you just finished it. None of these WIPs are hot off the hook, and that is okay. And I'm about to explain to you what a WIP is. But the reason I'm looking this out is because my county fair just came out with their information for the open class entries. I live in a pretty rural area, and in our counties, there's not a ton to do. So the county fair is entertainment, and it also, it's very agricultural. So kids show animals, you can enter projects, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to be going through some of my WIPs to see what applies to these categories. Some of these I did intentionally because I had a good guess they would be, in this year's categories. But let's talk about what a WIP is. A WIP is a work in progress. So that is anything that you are currently working on. I have some super old WIPs that I have literally been working on for years, and I have some WIPs that are quite a bit sooner. And the very first thing in the categories here for the fair is Afghan. And I have two that I'm currently working on. And one is a beautiful, beautiful ombre shells in the round blanket. And at the time, I kind of paused on it. I thought I only had one row left. And since then, I have found another skein of that yarn, and I could very well finish that. The county fair is about a month away. So if I was going to enter an Afghan, that would be my best option. My second option for an Afghan is a WIP that I've had it's my longest running WIP. It's like 3 years. And I did a slow cozy crochet podcast on that, which I will have linked. But I don't foresee any possible way that in 1 month's time, I mean, maybe it's possible, but I don't really foresee that it will get done. But I do have this smaller WIP here. This is a blanket I am working on where I am pairing a 4-weight yarn with a thicker 6-weight yarn. This is the Just Chenille from the Dollar Tree, and it is also Sweet Roll Frosty. The 4-weight yarn is very soft, and the reason I stopped this project is because I ran out of this yarn, and I just didn't go to Dollar Tree. When I went, they didn't have the right color, whatever, so I have it now. The baby items they have listed for this are baby booties, baby bonnets, baby sweater, and any baby set. So I'm not 100% sure if this will end up getting entered or not, or how I want to do it. But what I was thinking I could do is I have this little tiny hat, and you'll have to let me know if you think it goes well enough or if you think this is a stretch. But if I finished this WIP, this work in progress for this baby blanket, could I enter the baby blanket and this little hat together as a set? Is this hat too bright green? Um, I do not know. There is green in the frosty, but it's not really showing up that well here. Um, Maybe there wasn't green. Yes, there is a little bit of green right up in here, but this is much brighter. Let me know, please. Write in the comments, yes, it works, or no, it doesn't work. So, I do have this WIP right here that I could possibly enter. And pretty much what I'm finding is that a lot of these other things um, I have a hat right here, which technically is a WIP because I have to weave in my ends. And I did want to put a pom-pom on the top. And this would go into the stocking cap category. So technically this is still a WIP. It is not finished, but otherwise, um, I will show you the other things that I have. Before I do, real quick, I want to tell you about the other thing that a WIP is sometimes called. It's called a UFO. And I know after I mentioned Hoth, it sounds like I am like space theming this, but a UFO is an unfinished object. So, same thing, used interchangeably as far as I know. So let's go ahead and go over some of my FOs. So an FO, contrary to any obscene abbreviations you might be thinking, is a finished object. And I had started a handful of finished objects here for my fair projects. And I just kind of wanted to go over those and just kind of reiterate and make sure it is what I want. So there's a category for a sweater and a vest, and I did make a couple of items here, and I will link if you want to watch for any like inspiration. These are all beginner level projects. If you're beyond that stage where you know your beginning stitches. So I have this FO, this finished object. It is a hexagon cardie, and it is made out of Red Heart Super Saver, a super inexpensive, beautiful yarn that is readily available even at your local Walmart. So I've got this sweater, then there is a vest, and I did make this mandala vest. So this is the back right here, and then the front, again, out of the Red Heart ombre. Another category is holiday item, and I only have one Christmas WIP right now, and I know it is not going to get finished. Not in time for the fair. It'll definitely be here before December, but not in time for the fair. So it doesn't specify what holiday. So I do have this FO, this finished object of this super duper cozy shawl, or it could be like a triangle scarf that's candy corn inspired. So I think I'm going to enter this in the holiday item. And there is, what do we have here? Fashion accessories. I am not 100% certain what I would enter in there, or exactly if I want to make something or if that's just something I won't have. There's two categories for doilies, which I'm not going to have anything entered. I am also not going to enter anything in the bedspread or tablecloths categories. You saw my WIP, my UFO for the stocking cap, and I could easily make another one in time. That wouldn't be a problem. That's only a couple hours worth of project. Um, And then there is a scarf and a shawl category. So let me show you those FOs real quick. Here is a summer scarf that I had made. It is very lacy and I do really like this. I have a video where I went over all of these. So there you can see it up close a little bit. Before I would turn this in, I would probably, stretch it out so you could see the lace a little bit better. But I did enjoy making this. And I also made a ruffle scarf to go in. So you can enter 2 items per category. So I did also make this ruffly winter scarf out of a Karen latte cake, which is a super soft and cozy yarn. I did just make a summer scarf out of cotton yarn. I will link that podcast video if you would like to see that. And then I have 2 shawls as well. And when I was new to crochet, I was like, why on earth would anyone make a shawl? That sounds super old fashioned. Who even wears them? And then this is so ridiculous. I was like typing in and trying to figure out patterns for triangle scarf. It's the same thing. It is literally the same thing. It's just whether you wear it on your back or up in front. So don't make that beginner mistake that I did. But I have this winter shawl right here, and I really like how this turned out. And again, I will link the video for all of these, but this is a really like bouncy cotton acrylic blend, and I'm really happy with the drape and just how squishy it is. And then I have one other shawl that I did make, and I have a separate video on this if you would like to see it. But it is a virus shawl. So I thought it would be super complicated, but it really wasn't. So there is that. And I am seeing in this bag that I do have this cute little granny square headband. So I might have put it in this bag under the assumption that that could go into the fashion accessory category of my finished objects. And then I just have one other thing I thought about entering, and this would be under miscellaneous, but here's a little teacup. So it's just kind of fun. And this was out of some vintage yarn that I had thrifted. And I just have this sitting on a desk. I had like my microphone in it for a while, but you could put it down like if, and put like little tea bags in it or whatever you want there. But this might be my miscellaneous. So I will be having a couple quick videos. This will be a short series of more crochet slang so that you don't have to be confused like I was or embarrassed to ask a question. And if you have a crochet term or slang word you've heard related to crochet or yarn, you feel free to go ahead and ask me down in the comments. That is just fine. But I will have a video linked right up here or here, and that will either be the next video in this series, or if I haven't made that video yet, it will be another video related to beginner crochet information. So I sure appreciate you sitting and talking yarn with me. I hope this has been helpful, and I would love to talk some more yarn with you. Bye.